Over the years, I've seen mental and physical illness take toll on people's life, especially those who are very close to me. And though some illnesses can be rough and tough, it has always amazed me when the human spirit is able to overcome those same issues. And I always applauded those who are able to overcome it. Especially when I was young, I used to watch a lot of mostly in school really, that we watched a lot of inspirational videos, mostly of people of this a really extreme disability, physical mostly, right? I think everybody saw that one where it was a little guy. It was a guy who had no limbs or anything, but he was still able to be successful and was still able to get a wife. The guy has no limbs, right? He's unable to do anything. And if you remember the guy Hot Wheels from 8chan, he's a guy who has a disease where his body, the slightest amount of injury can destroy his body. That's why he's so small. Yet he's still able to be successful. And I hope he's doing well. He actually inspired me a lot back in my late teen, early adult years, especially when I was going through college. But that saying, though, without the example, it amazes me that Becky Boo from lolcowqueen doesn't understand that. She goes on and complains about how she's unable to clean her own house, she's unable to do anything, and that she lets her physical disability determine her life. Though I don't believe that's the case. And I understand that when people go through certain cycles, right, um, especially that of the depression kind, it is very tough to do the basic stuff. But I've seen people, especially family members very close to me, who have gone through the same physical or mental problem, especially depression. Depression runs heavily on my mom's side as a family. And yet I've seen her a number of times during the midst of her heavy, intensive depression still do everything she can to provide. Whether that is just cleaning, cooking, getting a job. I've seen her work 2 jobs back to back in the midst of her high level of depression. Becky Boob can't do the basics at all. And that's sad. Because Becky Boob, though, she is pretty old. She's not old. She's in her 40s or about to hit her 40s. And yet, she goes on and complains and tried to be a victim, but also not trying to be the victim. What I mean is, she played the role of a victim, but then tried to backpedal it at the same time. And it's funny how much she try to victim blame other people like Grace and even Link's number of times, right? And even one way or another, kind of made fun of Link's disability. Now I could be misremembering that, so don't hold me to that. But I could be misremembering it. But I'm pretty sure she at least mocked Link's of her disability. And whether or not you like Link's is up to you. I have no problem against her. But you can't deny that at least Lynx is doing a lot in her life, whether it's taking care of grandpa, doing her YouTube, or even having a business of her own. And yet Becky Boo, who's twice the age of Lynx, is unable to do the basics. You can't just constantly complain and cry wolf every single time when things don't go your way. It is very low-cal-ish. And Becky is the epitome of the female low-cal. Very much the victim, but also victim blaming. Very much complaint brings up her issues. We're not as bad, right? I've seen people who have arthritis, right? I used to work with a guy who his hand, like I believe it was part of the bone, was so wear down that the slight amount of cold will freeze his hand instantly. And yet I saw that man work with me. We did a construction job, and if we'd be outside of the cold, in extreme temperature, yet I saw that man work his body to the bone. Good man. I miss him quite a bit. A great teacher, actually. But he also, he showed me that even if you have disability in your own hands, you can still do things with your hands. Whereas Becky Boo is unable to. And again, I understand the whole room thing. I've been through my own cycle where my room is filthy, but I at least try to make an attempt once a week, right? I get the whole filthy room thing, but again, I still try to make an attempt to clean my room multiple times throughout the week, actually. Not my room, actually my room and my whole house completely, and I live in a pretty big house. So, at least I try. But someone like Becky, who has the money coming in, who has supporters coming in at all around, the whole local universe, can't even do that much. And honestly, her getting shit on by Keem and everybody is a good thing. It's her waking up to it. Now, do I think it's gonna become a whole redemption arc? It probably will. Expect it to lead eventually lead to some type of redemption arc or some type of, hey, look, Becky's doing this, guys. Let's applaud her. And I understand that subjects like these are very touchy and difficult, right? I know I can bring up the whole Asmongold situation, and I will now actually. Because Asmongold got a lot of criticism for many years for not cleaning his room, and only recently did he get applauded. And Becky is in the same situation. Yeah, not as much of a long period of time. Shorter, actually. And yet the opposite is happening. And why is that? I think it has to do with Asmongold, whether, again, I made it clear that I'm not a big fan of him, but just his sort of, I guess you want to say, golden retriever energy or something like that makes people sympathize with him more, right? Compared to Becky Boo, whose personality is rotten to the core like an apple that has been just rotten, right? That's what Becky is. And if things were different, if Becky was a nicer, more, hell, even if Becky was faking being a nice, people would at least sympathize with her more. But no, she runs away. She hides behind her disability. I'm not saying hand disabilities are a joke. A lot of them are, but I met people who have a difficult time moving their hands and their leg, and they're still able to do the basics. Ultimately, Becky is just a crybaby who can't admit that she's wrong, and she can't admit criticism. In the end, that's just who she is. Are things gonna get better for her? Probably not. You know, is she gonna clean up her house or her room or whatever? Probably is. But expect it to get dirty and expect the cycle to continue over and over and over again. It is what it is, I guess. Till next time, be safe, have fun, and God bless. Till next time, everybody.